Good morning, one and all. Welcome to the session on modern software engineering. This is Dr. Diana. We have been looking into what modern software engineering approaches are and some of the agile methodologies. Today, we will take a graphical tour of what agile development is and some of the key concepts in agile development. It's more like a graphical representation of what we have been already seeing, just to reiterate on things. So, what is the main objective of going into agile development? Why do we go into agile development? Agile is a new form of software development. The traditional development was not able to support good efficiency, so it required some change in it. So the people started evolving the software development process and they moved on into agile. Why exactly is agile development important? What are its benefits? Now, when we think about what the benefits of agile development are, the first thing is the stakeholder who is investing in your software is happy. The second important thing is you have very high productivity of the team that is developing the software. These two are the major uh, factors or reasons why we go into agile development. Apart from these, we also have better revenue because the stakeholder is happy with you, and because you are trying to build what the customer actually wants, you are building the right product, and the development process becomes enjoyable for the team, and the software that is thus developed is of better quality. The development phase is fun and learning. And the other key aspect in agile development is the time it takes to deliver it to the market. It's very, very less compared to the traditional software development approach. So, these are some of the reasons why people go in for agile development than the traditional software engineering approaches. Now, what drives this agile development process? So we have something called as agile manifesto. The agile manifesto is where we are going to compare and contrast with the traditional approach, and we are going to give importance to some aspect of it and discard some aspect of it. So there are four manifesto rules. Manifesto is nothing but an objective or a vision statement. So what we are going to consider more important than the other. There are four different aspects which we are going to take control of. The first one is individuals and interaction over process and tools. Instead of concentrating more on the process and the tools used in the software development process, we are going to concentrate on a skilled team and the interaction between the team members. And the second contradiction is we are going to think about customer collaboration rather than or over contract negotiation. Instead of pushing the client away and then calling him only for the money that we develop, we are going to bring in the customer inside the development space and give them some importance and empathize with the customer during development and collaborate well with the customer. The third aspect is we are going to deliver working software rather than comprehensive documentation. So instead of preparing heavy documentation, we are going to spend that time on development of the software itself, which is very, very important from the traditional approach. Traditional approach is so much of documentation that you spend less time on development activities and more time on documentational activities. So this is one particular aspect where the agile contrasts from the traditional development approach. And the fourth one is responding to a change rather than following a plan. In the traditional software development approach, we see that the plan is laid out in advance, and the details of the plan is also laid out in advance, and everybody in the team works towards fixing themselves to the plan. So it's more like sticking on to the plan. So if there is any change that you want to make in somewhere in the middle, it is going to give you a lot of cost and time wastage. To avoid that, you have a fluid plan in agile methodologies where you can change your plan every now and then, but still it does not affect your cost much. So, we are going to concentrate on responding to a change or a more adaptable environment than following a plan. So, this is how we contrast with the traditional approach. Now, we have seen why we are moving into agile and what are the basic things that can propel agile development. Now, what exactly is agile development? What the agile development works? The agile development is delivering of some tangible software to the client every 2 weeks and involving the client in the process of development in simple terms. So, I'm going to call these uh, deliverables as sprints or iteration. So, in every iteration, I'm going to follow a discover phase where I interact with the client and then find out what he wants, then design that, develop that, test that, give it to the next iteration. So, in the next iteration, I discover more aspects of what the client needs, then design for that, develop for that, test that, and then give. So, in agile development, we concentrate on a incremental design or incremental development. So, you start with something small, you add things to it little by little, and in iterations, and deliver a quality software at the end. That's the basis of agile development. Now, if we also look into more on this iteration, each iteration might have a 2 week sprint in extreme programming environment. Extreme programming is one methodology or one programming process that follows the agile development strategy. So, in extreme programming, each iteration is of 2 weeks, and each of these 2 weeks we are supposed to deliver something to the client. So, in order to commit or stay on to that, we are going to divide each iteration into certain phases. The first phase is to plan. So you can take 1 day for planning. And then the second phase is development and design. So it can take up to 2 to 9 days. You can conduct a plan, you can think of what to add, what are the features to be added. Design can be part of it, development can be a part of it, and then you integrate all of them. All these are going to be held within the second phase, which is the do phase, from day 2 to day 9. And in day 10, we are going to check or test our product. Whatever we have developed thus far, we will test all of that. And the last day is for deployment. So, just because I said 2 weeks, it doesn't mean that we're going to take 14 days. It takes 2 working weeks or 10 days in general. So, day 1 is for planning, day 2 to 9 are for development, day 3, the final day or the 10th day, you're going to check and then deploy. And how do we adopt this agile development? What are the prerequisites for agile development? Now, there are certain basic things that are required for us to adopt agile principle. The first one is a co-located workspace. It means the entire building team or the team that is developing should be working in one physical location, and the team size cannot be more than 25. So, only for such projects we can develop the agile strategy. So, this is a layout for a co-located workspace where everybody can work together, and it's more like an open environment. Now, this is a practical agile development workspace. The second most important prerequisite for adopting agile strategies is a skilled team. So you need people who are part of your team should be skilled in their particular areas in the domain in which the development happens. You cannot take in a novice programmer into agile development. It is not possible. So the team itself should be highly skilled. Only then you can follow agile principles, because the development is going to be the same. The process of writing code is going to be the same, but we are expected to do it more efficiently. In that case, the team that you choose for building your agile project should be very, very skilled. And there are certain principles we are going to follow in agile methodologies. The first and basic principle is we are going to work in iteration. In every iteration, we are going to identify some stories or some features that the software requires. It's more like an outcome what the client actually wants. And then you organize your to-do list of what you're going to do in this particular sprint or iteration, and you identify whatever is already in progress. Then you do a bit of testing, and then you finalize them as done. And the criteria for completion is usually mentioned during the time of planning itself. Now, these are some of the principles which are part of agile development. So, there you can see there are three levels in which the principles are laid out. The first principle is the innermost circle, where you can follow some of the basic principles in agile development, which is pair programming, test driven development, refactoring, and simple design of the entire software that you develop. And when you expand it to a larger scale among your team, you must be able to concentrate on collective ownership, how to set coding standards, and continuous integration, and how do I keep the sustainable pace in the development, or how do I deliver something tangible every 2 weeks. So that all that comes into the second level of set of principles that we can adopt. And on a larger scale, how do we involve the entire team, how do we do planning as a game, and then how do we achieve small releases, and how to conduct customer tests. All these are on a larger scale. Now we will start with some of these basic concepts, and then we will move into the higher ones. The first thing we will see is on pair programming. Pair programming is where two people sit together and work on the same piece of code. One is called as the driver, the other one is going to be called the navigator. The driver is the one who's going to write the code. The navigator can help in discussion of the basic strategy that runs behind the code, or they can plan on some additional activity that the driver has to perform next. It's more like in a race cart, there's a person next to you telling where to turn, where not to turn, what is next, which lap are we in, all that they keep informing the driver. The same principle is called as pair programming. So there are going to be two people working on the same development code every time. Now, there are some of the benefits of pair programming are when you work in pairs, the code that is developed is better and is of higher quality, and it also helps the team stay focused. And the next principle that can help in agile methodology is an informative workspace. An informative workspace is more like a whiteboard where you chart out some to-do lists and what is completed, who is doing what, and all that, your progress reports, all of them laid out in one space is called as an informative workspace. When people just walk into a workspace, they should be able to gather sufficient idea of what you are working on and what you are going to do next, and what the project is about, and everything. Now, this is a sample. These are some of sample workspaces where you can add the entire role, team, whatever they are doing, their completion criteria. Everything can be laid out on a informative workspace. This could be another form of a informative workspace where you can use cards, index cards, to show what is being done and what is going to be done next. And the next important principle in Agile is the test driven development cycle. In the test driven development cycle, we see that we are going to start testing even before the code is written. And the test is written to check some feature of the software. Imagine the customer wants a software for attendance. So what is my main purpose is to mark attendance and to view attendance. So I will think of a test which can check if I am able to mark attendance. So the test will check if I can mark attendance. So that is where we start with the red. So we write a test first to check if we are able to mark attendance. We have not written any code as of now, so the test obviously fails. And then we write a small piece of code that can do that work. So I need to write a piece of code that can only mark attendance. Once I mark the attendance, I pass the test and I get a green bar. Once I have got a green bar, I go back and do some refactoring. Refactoring means improvement of the code. So I do some improvement, go back again. Then I check on what other aspect I need to modify. I need to view my attendance. The code that I have is only written to mark the attendance. So obviously my red, I'll get a red signal, or the code that I have currently will fail the test. So that then I add some code, go into the green phase, add some code to allow my code to pass that test. So that way you start with the test first, then you write the code just enough to pass the test, and then you do a bit of refactoring, and finally you get your incremental architecture done. This is called as the test driven development cycle. Now when we talk of TDD, the most important part of TDD is the refactoring. What is refactoring? Refactoring is the process of changing your code, the structure of your code, without changing its behavior. So the outcome is going to be the same, but I'm going to try and do it a little more effectively. Now this could be thought of as refactoring. I take into account some old cars, then find out what is wrong, where the efficiency is lost, take out all the trash from it, and then redesign it a little bit so that it becomes very efficient and new. The ones coming in through the left are all old fashioned, less efficient ones. I do a little bit of processing, and when it goes out, it goes as highly efficient. So the process is, the outcome is the same, but I try to do it more efficiently, or the performance of what I have done is going to improve. This is called as refactoring. So we have seen some of the basic things in the first level of agile development. We will concentrate on the rest of it in the forthcoming sessions. But for now, this is Dr. Diana signing off. Thank you, one and all.